Glenn Parker High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. Sometimes I have an idea of what I'm going to share, and sometimes it's just push the record button and on with the show. Today's idea was just sharing an idea of who and what you are as a composite of all the information that's been dying to get out of there. So you are a unique individuated soul. You are a fractal of the whole that could be called God, Yahweh, higher power, organic connection between all living things. You are a unique individuated frequency of source energy. And as a collective in the human race, we are starting to understand through law of attraction, thank you Abraham-Hicks, and quantum science, thank you all the scientists that worked on that. That's definitely a job and a half. That you are a unique individuated wave of vibration and energy, and nothing exists in your reality. It exists as potential until it is perceived by, and it's not even this is just the spacesuit that you put on to have fun in and play a great game with a whole bunch of your friends. And you chose to forget so that you could have that unique individuated experience. So as you're in your own unique situation and you are looking at your own universe, nothing exists without it being perceived. It is potential energy. Now, superposition and collapse of the waveform actually vets this out, where it's all potential energy if no one's a watching. And when somebody is watching, it becomes and collapses down into what is anticipated within the belief system of what's being seen. Now, this can be seen and demonstrated in the idea of the Philadelphia Project. And if you're not familiar with this, what they were doing arc welding and like high energy arc welding, and they figured out if they made an artificial arc weld around, let's say, a ship, it disappeared and it showed up somewhere else. They literally temporarily dislocated an item because the temporal location, physical location of an item is unique individuated of the frequency of that item. It is a component of that item. So they duplicated this. They were hoping to use this as a cloak. They didn't realize they were creating wormholes and or physically changing the variable of the location, the locational variable of the physical object to another location. They didn't quite get that yet. So when they did this experiment, the people on the ship for the Philadelphia experiment, the ones that knew where they were, had been where they were, and focused on what was going on because they were out of phase with 3D reality, were okay on the other end. They were able to walk and make bulkheads and make floors and stuff like that. The ones that freaked out and did not consciously project what and where things should be ended up inside of bulkheads and owie, bad things happened. They were inside desks and weird things like that. And that lends itself to the idea of superposition and collapse of the waveform, and it was just accentuated in this type of idea. They vacuumed themselves off from time and space, changed locational variable, and came back in, and during that transition, if you weren't consciously aware and projecting what was physically supposed to be in front of you, you ended up in a bulkhead because it didn't exist, and when you came back into physical reality, it snapped back in. So you are a unique individuated frequency of source energy. You are whole and complete as you are, and as an immortal being, and yes, you are an immortal being. So let's explore that idea of being an immortal being, and that you are in your own unique individuated reality, and that you are creating shadows and mirrors and reflections of everyone and anything that is within your reality. They are also unique individuated souls, but they're not physically in your reality. That's just an energetic representation. So nothing can ever happen to you that's outside within a higher level of what you chose to happen, because it is just you in your universe. And you're choosing everything that happens to you. So let's explore what we've been looking at in human consciousness now, physics and the Big Bang Theory. Let's go back to the Big Bang Theory. There's something in the Big Bang Theory called the inflation theory. And in inflation, if you don't use the infinity symbol, this equation breaks down. Now, if you do use the infinity symbol as a quantifier for this equation, it basically bets out that there is an infinite amount of parallel realities all concurrent with each other throughout reality. So what I'm proposing is that infinity isn't necessarily God or Yahweh or organic connection between all living things. All that is. The infinity symbol is you. You are a distinct frequency of source energy, unique, individuated, infinite in your own right, given that gift imbued by creation. So you are creating within your own universe an infinite amount of universes to be able to experience, and it is your frequency that you hold, your vibration, what you are, and within your belief systems able to perceive, and then you collapse down and magnetize yourself to those infinite parallel realities. I will go so far to say that time, the illusion, if you are an immortal being and you do exist now, you always have and you always will. So, in relation to the concept called time, it is basically as a consciousness slipstreaming through billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of parallel realities per second to give the illusion of time so that you could play a great game with a whole bunch of your friends. And this is how we're breaking down reality so far. Now, within your belief systems, you may not believe some of these things. Some of these things are what we do understand now in physics, that you are energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed. That this is a spacesuit. Nothing touches. It's just energy touching himself and repelling. There's no physical objects that actually touch each other. And if you take out all the empty space in the universe, including within your own, cells and all these little subfacets and protons and all these things, and you take it all out, there's really not much in the way of mass there. It's like a projection, and there's so many experiments that actually lend themselves to this type of idea. And the projection is you on a higher consciousness level, projecting out this reality to have the experience called time. If you are an immortal being, I will propose, if you are an immortal being in a timeless reality, and you know everything that you need to know, and you are infinite and eternal, and there is only one moment, there is only one thing, and it's just differentiated in frequency, that this would be a natural progression. Why wouldn't you want to go and play a great game with a whole bunch of your friends and forget? And have that experience of coming through forgetting, and now in a time of great reawakening, remember that you're immortal. Remember that you're in a unique individuated frequency of source energy. Remember that you are projecting and that you are the dreamer in your own dream. And now you have the ability to dream the best dream that you want. How immensely satisfying would that be as an immortal being to take that away as an idea? Hey, I made it through this lifetime. I came to a point where I am now conscious. All the things I experienced in my lifetime, I have pre-agreements with all the other unique individuated entities that there would be absolute forgiveness, because back on spirit there is no idea of judgment. So you can now come to a point where you can actually look at yourself in the mirror and go, that is a spacesuit, and what I am is energy. And if you want to build a better conduit to your higher self, you can imagine that your higher self is what's looking through your eyes, and build an energy conduit through that, and identify more with the higher self as energy. And the higher self is outside of space and time. It's the one that gives you those little push and little nudges, because the energy and the vibration of non-physical doesn't translate well into physical. So it's not like, yo, don't go that way, Every great once in a while it might be. But what you'll generally get is that, or, ooh, I want to take a bite out of that person, or just for some reason they make me amorous just the moment that I see them and I want to spend time with them. Or the opposite, where you come across them and go, ooh, run away, they're going to eat my liver if I hang around with them type of idea. It's these extremes that I'm using, but it is the idea that it doesn't translate as words. It's a feeling. It's a nudge. Go this way. No, don't go that way. Stay away from that person. Take a bite out of that person. Not literally, but you know what I mean. So these types of ideas. And you're exploring these with a whole bunch of your friend in this lifetime. And they are all immortal family that you've known forever. And human consciousness can't quite, because we only have up to now experienced linear, and we're understanding that things, when they break down, are only one thing, that it is just energy, and if energy cannot ever be created or destroyed, then it always has exist, always is existing, always has existed, and always will exist, which means that you're immortal. So wrap your mind around that. There's a lot of information in there. Jump on the internet, get some information, reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you very much for joining me. Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Coaching, life, business, and spiritual. If you want me to tickle your brain and download some of this stuff and have discussions, I'm there for you. I also have spiritual retreats now, unique individuated retreats where we choose an energy vortex, like maybe Sedona or Hawaii or any number of different places, depending upon what we feel might be best energetically for you. And also, also tons of stuff going on down below in the description. There are, there's channels in there that I like. There's people that are energetically representative of the new energy. There's also, there's also links to all my websites, the foundation, and for coaching, and for twin flame coaching, and all these types of ideas. And if you do like this video, if you find it helpful, or if you just say, you're just crazy, I think I'm going to share this, then please like, subscribe, and share. Either way is perfectly fine with me. Thank you very much, and have a lovely day.